Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Insomnia. This is episode 311. Coming back at you.
We're back at it.
Same joke. Places unknown. Not our home-based studio. We are here with the lovely, talented.
Dude, we have the producer of Lennox. He performed in Zanies. He's performed in Laugh Factory. He's performed in Comedy Bar.
Yeah.
Comedy Bar. Rene Humberto in the house today.
Thank you for having me. Is this the one I look
Yeah,
at?
that's the one. Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. Awesome. Gotcha.
It's a little easier when there's only three of us.
Right. Yeah. More cameras. But yeah, no, dude, we've been trying to chase you for how many? It's been a while.
We're chasing everybody, man.
Yeah, chasing everybody. Exactly.
Nobody chasing us so much, man, but we're doing chasing.
I was texting you guys. I'm like, yeah, I can come to Belvedere. I was trying to make it work.
You were.
My schedule sucks, especially like with the baby. I got to coordinate all this extra shit.
Yeah, congrats, man, on being a dad, dude.
Yeah, man. It works. The juice works. So, yeah, he's kicking around. He's not talking yet. It just makes sounds.
How old?
So he's almost a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah. It goes fast. It's cliche, but it really goes fast.
Yeah. You're lying.
Well, because the small changes are so evident, right? And not like us. Like 10 years can pass by and we look the same, right?
Yeah.
But a child,
dude,
running, talking,
Yeah.
Beefing,
seeing their logic kind of come into play and how they make like assessments with the environment. That's very intriguing to watch, and also finding out like what they find funny. Is really, it's fun. It's cute.
Dude, totally. I mean, dude, I got a daughter, man, and right now she's basically at Ramon's light right now, dude, and she's 9. So she's a tall girl, dude. She's a tall girl. I know we're talking about the other night. She's a tall girl. Yeah.
She's like, call me Thea.
So no, I get it, man. Changes, like I said, it's seeing them grow sucks, but also it sucks even more when you reflect back to you, like, oh shit, I'm getting old. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I've kind of had the self-awareness of my age. Like, I know I'm young at heart. I think I always am going to be.
How old are you? Like, what, 32?
I'm 35.
Oh, 35?
Yeah,
God
I'm
damn,
35.
you look 27, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to be 36 in January. You think I look 27?
You're young motherfucker, bro.
Damn, I think I look fucking near 50 some days. when I have those 4-hour sleep nights and I have no coffee and then I got to work 8 hours, and I see the little grays on the side of my hair.
Yeah.
Especially when like I pluck like ear hair or like nose hair that's like all white, my canas, I'm like, fuck. I'm not 27, bro. I wish.
Well, we have two different type of dads because we have a super young dad here.
Yeah.
And then I want to say older dad, but right, like
my contrast is I have one brother, and my parents had us back to back, the Irish twins thing. Yeah. When my mom was 21 and 22, I want to say.
Yeah.
And my dad, I think he's 3 years older than my mom. Yeah, 3 years older than my mom. So I didn't have, like, growing up, I was always like, I'm going to have a kid by the time I'm 25. Still thinking, like, I'm giving myself time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, the relationship didn't work out. Like, 28, 30, boom. And then that relationship didn't work out. And, life just kept changing. I got busy with music, got busy with comedy. And with my wife now, like, we didn't rush into it. We wanted to spend, like, a year of our marriage, like, traveling,
smart,
like getting business in order, like trying to figure out what's our path, what are we going to do, where do we want to end up, and try to plan as much as we can. And then we made the announcement. I found out on my dad's 58th birthday because we were going to drive to Rockford to go see my dad, and she had found out I think a day before that she was pregnant. And I was like, well, I'm already, almost 15 years later than my dad to have a baby. And he's a big sap like me, so he's been wanting a grandkid. He has 2 granddaughters with my brother, but no grandkids yet. And we do have I have a nephew that's my brother's wife's from a previous relationship, so obviously we love him. He counts. But like the blood relative is something that my late grandpas didn't get to see, and they always were like, hey, when you have a mijito, bring him to Mexico. So my dad's birthday present on top of what I already got him when he was turning 58 was this little assortment of like baby clothes and like an announcement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. Now he loves them.
What was that feeling like, knowing you're gonna be a dad?
It's something I wanted. It's something that I always knew I wanted to. At the end of it all, I would like to have 3 or 4 kids.
Sure.
I just have this nurturing, like loving urge to care for. That's why I had like a dog for all those years. I had a late English bulldog that lived for 10 plus years, and I wanted to have a baby while the dog was still alive. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. But when it happened, when I like knew it was real, obviously you don't know it's real until you hear the baby cry in the room, right, in the operating room. But knowing that I'm like, oh man, I'm finally at this stage that I thought I was going to be at when I was 25.
Right.
Then I thought I was going to be at when I was 28 to 30. And now I'm here at 33, 34. So it was like a relief. So it was like excitement, a relief. And then it just became the stress of let's do everything we have to do to make sure you have a healthy pregnancy and everything goes fine that day. And the day of the pregnancy, or I should say the 3-4 days of the pregnancy, were a little stressful because my wife had planned for a natural birth. And she didn't want a C-section, nothing. Right. And they kind of were like, the nurses were not communicating with her that well. She kind of buys into the conspiracy theory that hospitals purposely push you towards having C-sections because they get to bill the insurance more, a lot more.
Right.
And so they kind of like guilt trip you into it. They tell you things like, oh, the baby's head is kind of stuck in the canal, and blah, like it's not. They give you all these lies.
Yeah.
And then one of the things the old school like mothers will tell you and grandmas, like just like if you just walk around the hospital, like it'll kind of loosen up and you'll have your natural birth. And they didn't let her do that. So she started kind of connecting dots, and she's like, these fuckers are trying to force me to have a C-section. And I mean, it worked in the end, right? Like, because they guilt tripped us enough to the point where it's like we can either stand on our pride and possibly, if they're not bluffing, hurt the baby. And it's like, we're already at this point. Like, I'm not going to love you less if you have a scar. Like, let's just do it. So it was beautiful up into that, but then the hospital is a whole other fucking mental test until you hear the baby come out and cry. And then there's the recovery of your partner. And it's just like that. Once it was all over,
she was cut in half. Dude. She was cut in half, basically.
I saw them rip her open. I was in the room.
Oh,
I saw them when they were putting everything back into her.
Oh, no way. I thought they covered that.
No.
And he like, they literally, to her.
Oh, to you, like, oh shit, I just
because she has like a tarp. She's laying on her back. She has like a tarp that cuts everything off. But once the baby's born and they're like taking care of her, she's all on drugs and everything. And they walk you to the other side, and there's this little like vestibule, this tech vestibule where they're warming the baby. They're like taking the quick measurements of the baby, and like that's to my left, and 5 feet to my right are the doctors, like just patching everything back together, putting the stomach back in.
I'm passing out, dude.
But
I'm passing out, dude.
And so I'm like seeing straight into her insides, like them like patching everything together, which I didn't expect. And
you can't get any deeper than that.
I'm not squeamish, so it was more of like a wow, that's happening right there. And then my kid's right here with his big egg-shaped head, and then I'm just like, oh god, like
so much going on.
This is beautiful. That's not. Like, patch her up, like real quick. Damn. No, she's in good spirits now. She loves being a mother. She was born for it. I love being a dad. I know that's probably a longer answer than you expected.
No. It's a beautiful thing.
No, I mean, but they literally pull out your insides, dude. Put it on a side cart, and then from there, that's incredible. I mean, I mean, when you really break it down, the ability for a woman, a human to produce a human, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's like when we were talking about aliens upstairs, like, is that not an alien? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, you made a person inside of you?
Mm-hmm. Just that your body naturally just knows what to do.
Yeah.
Without your involvement, without your active involvement.
No.
Like, you could just go do your stuff. You could go to work. You could go to the gym. You could watch your shows. And internally, your body's like, I got it. And they're just making
Dude, there's people that don't even know they're pregnant. And then they go into the bathroom to go, drop a deuce. And then next thing you know, a baby comes out.
Yeah. We call them whores.
Yeah. Those damn whores.
Yeah, that's crazy when you're like, I think I have gas. And you realize, like, oh, no. Like,
That's the whole
I'm
baby.
crowning, like, this baby. Like, luckily, there's situations where that ends fine. But unfortunately, there are situations where I've read in the news that these girls just panic. And
Dude, I mean, you're probably talking about the one like that happened recently, right? Well, maybe like in the last couple months. But a girl, she was in the hospital. She was complaining about pains. She and nobody knew she was pregnant, but everybody knew she was pregnant.
Okay.
And yeah,
Did she like show and stuff? Like
yeah. There was pictures of her like in her children's uniform.
They
like she was a high school kid, and she went to the bathroom, like delivered the kid.
Killed it, right?
Yeah. She threw him like in a trash.
bag,
in a garbage bag.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then like, dude, I don't know, man, but I remember watching like it was on TikTok and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, as a mother, even though that's your child, but like, how can you like support a monster like that? That's a monster, dude.
Well, what they say is they're so jacked up on hormones because their own body.
You defending this woman?
No. I'm just throwing it out there. what it is.
Yeah,
I'm not
you defended a pedophile in the last podcast. And now you're defending this. Did he not?
I did not.
Stay away from my kid.
I did not. All I'm trying to say is that.
That's crazy.
I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying why people would try to defend it. She's jacked up on hormones. This and that, because after pregnancies, you have postpartum depression.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they don't want anything to do with the child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're so like against it at that moment.
Yeah, but there's so many.
I'm just saying.
There's so many avenues now where they just can deliver the child and never see it.
Yeah, there's safety boxes.
Yeah.
Safe havens, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, here's where kind of the parents play a fault in it, and like we have immigrant, like Mexican parents.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there was a conversation like, hey, if you have a fucking kid, or you're pregnant, you're out of this house.
Yeah,
I'm cutting you off of this. Blah blah blah.
Sure.
Like, name your threat.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I don't have sisters, but I have girl cousins, and I know how my uncles were with them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they got those threats. Like, if you ever end up pregnant, I'm beating your ass. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You name it. So they probably have that fear. I mean, they're at that age where they don't have the social maturity to challenge these threats. Mm-hmm. So they just think like, oh my God, like my parents are going to murder me.
Yeah.
So they're just like, I don't want to get murdered. And they do this extreme thing when I think now the more modern conversation is kind of because we have more open-minded parents, like because we've been through that. We know what can happen. I think that the modern parent is going to be more understanding because, like, if I have a daughter, the conversations I'm going to make sure I have with her, be like, hey, like at the end of the day, just tell me everything and we'll work through it together.
Yeah.
Because like they're going to explore their sexuality just like we did, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be like, this is what's out there. Like, you're going to make your own choices. I can't hover over you like your whole life. Like, you're going to make your own decisions. But if you're not smart about it, this could happen to you. There's a picture of what you could end up with, and you can't get rid of it, right? Yeah. Like, and this is why when these parents, and also, I guess before I even bring up religion, because the Catholicism, the Mexican Catholicism, where they're just like, oh, you can't have an abortion, you can't kill your baby. There's that too. Yeah. So they're balancing like the fear of their parents and the fear of the God that they were raised to fear their whole life. So they're like, well, I can't piss off like my real family and also the God that's waiting for me if I ever pass away. Yeah. And so they make these crazy decisions that they're just not able to handle. And they could be avoided if they just have like an open-minded parent that's like, if you're ever in this situation, like there's solutions. So am I going to be disappointed? Yeah. But let's work through it together. So you don't end up putting a baby in a garbage bag in the hospital. And now you're in jail and I can't help you either way.
Yeah,
right.
And now you're in the news. Everybody knows you. And then it's a moment of why wasn't I there? You know?
But like anything else, I mean, our parents, or not our parents, but those parents learn from their parents. You know what I'm saying? Same thing, fear. So I know sometimes it works, but other times it's very deconstruction. Deconstructive?
Yeah.
Is that the best way to say it? Yeah.
Counterintuitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
backwards.
it doesn't really work.
It doesn't. It didn't for me. And my brother was a little more kind of like submissive towards the because I say so style of parenting my dad did especially. But like me, I would challenge the reason a lot. And so I'm sure I wasn't my dad's favorite growing up. And so we got into a lot of back and forth because I would want to talk things out. I would want to understand, like, why do you as the adult have this idea? But in my gut, I feel like you're wrong. And here's why I feel you're wrong. And you can't have those discussions with a Mexican dad. They're going to be like, you disrespecting me? You talking back to me? And it becomes a fucking...
It's only that until the point where we talked about this earlier. Where it's like once you get taller than them.
Yeah.
Because the moment you get taller than your dad...
They're trying to talk everything out.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Like, okay. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it then, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Is your dad still around?
Yeah.
How tall is your dad?
My dad's 5'3". 5'3", 5'4".
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Dangerous motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm dangerous, bro.
Like 2 years ago, you met his son.
Yeah.
It's over.
Not anymore, father.
I ain't gonna listen to you no more.
How tall? Your dad's tall.
My dad's 5'9", 5'10".
5'9", 5'10".
5'9", 5'10". I'm like 6'1", dude.
6'1",
dude.
Yours, Rene?
I think my dad's 6'1". I'm
your dad's tall?
5'11". On my, and I know that's like the kind of punchline height. I'm literally 5'11". It says on my license.
You almost made it. You almost made it.
Almost there. Like that, I had that one bit, and this happened during quarantine, and like the height of the shit. There was this old lady that was like across the street. We were walking the dogs, and she was like, you know, she thought it could kill her. Anybody could kill her, right? So she's like screaming at me from across the street. It's like 6 feet, 6 feet. And in my head, I was like, I'm 5'11", like, and then I was like, oh, that's a bit right there, because I was so stupid, I couldn't connect that she wasn't telling me I'm 6 feet. She didn't want me to get close to her, and I'm like, I need to get some sleep. Like, I'm not even processing basic shit. Jesus.
Talking about your dad, before we went down here, we were going down a conspiracy route.
I was going down where?
We were going down this conspiracy route.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you said we brought up aliens, and then you said, "Well, my dad has one story."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This was the first. This was the first story that launched my lifetime fascination with the supernatural and the paranormal. Okay. It was in 1960s, like rural Mexico, and like the tech. I don't know if you guys have been there lately, but
where?
Unless you're in a major city, the tech is still kind of the same. In these
for sure.
rural areas.
Like in the small pueblos.
It's very third world, very farm based. And so my grandpa, he was an agricultural engineer, so he like oversaw a lot of farming properties, and he would bring the kids. And there was this like end of the day, like the sun's going down, and they're driving through the fields, and my dad told me that they drove up to this area of the field where there was this like house-sized, like sky blue, like powder blue, just glowing sphere just in the grass, which at that time stands out. So there's nothing in the field that does that. And so they pulled the truck closer. My grandpa got out. The kids got out, my dad and his brothers, and I think his sister was there. And they're just observing this thing, and then my grandpa took like a step or two closer to try to be like, what is this? And the thing just shot up into the sky and disappeared. Like left a trail, like supersonic speed. Just no sound, just gone. And my dad told me that when I was like 5 or 6 years old. Because I was watching like a UFO documentary on like Fox when they used to run those specials in the 90s. And he's like, just so you know, because I think he was hesitant to tell anyone that unless he saw somebody would possibly believe him.
For sure.
And so he saw that. I was like, oh my God, like what? Well, where are they? Are they angels? Because like I said, my parents like raised me on Catholicism too. I'm like, are they angels? Like, do they fly in these things? Like, are they aliens? Like, because I also saw movies and cartoons at the time. Yeah. And so my dad was just like, yeah, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is something that happened to me. So if you're curious about that, just know there's something there.
So when he's telling you this, he's not like, this one thing happened to me once, but like I don't really believe in it. Or was it like, no, I was like, I saw something.
It was like wonderment.
Yeah.
And so it was the same look I had with the documentary I was watching, and just like complete wonderment, where I'm like, I look up at the sky and I thought it was just stars, moon, sun, airplanes, helicopters. But there's things up there that no one knows what they are. And so when he saw my wonderment in that, he like went right back to the day he was on the field, and I could see it on his face. And I'm just like
joyful,
like almost privileged that he saw it.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people see these things.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's that theory that some people are more sensitive to see these things, or they appear like more specifically to other people with certain energies. Then it gets into that whole stuff that no one can really prove, right?
Yeah.
But throughout my life, I mean, I've seen stuff. I've seen stuff I can't explain. There's been witnesses with me sometimes. My brother's been with me when I saw some stuff. My mom and best friend have been with me when I saw some stuff.
And when you say stuff, you mean like alien or
like
spiritual?
What I can, I've never seen a ghost. I've experienced what could be considered ghostly phenomena.
Right.
But I've never seen an apparition.
Yeah.
I've heard and felt things, and I'll give you an example of that. But like UFO wise, what I can say, I've never seen an alien. Right, outside of,
I'm looking at one right here, dude.
Yeah, outside of us, right? Yeah, anyone with a fake soch, you're all aliens. They're taking over. But for UFO phenomena, at the end of the day, I can only say I've seen unidentified aerial phenomena. Is now the term UAPs is what they're calling it. UFOs, unidentified flying objects. I have seen things I cannot explain. And I know like what tech is out there. Like I know where I can be like, that's probably military. Those lights might be this, it might be that. But there's stuff that you're just like, what the fuck was that? There was one time my high school girlfriend, we were driving around in Rockford. And we drove, and I remember exactly where we were. We were driving on Riverside. We had just passed the Farm and Fleet on the right side, heading more towards like Perryville intersection. Mm-hmm. There's like a camera shop and a coffee shop that are still there. The coffee shop, I think, is still there to the left before the intersection. And in the sky is what I can only describe as it looked like modern day Soldier Field on game night. Upside down in the sky, like fully lit. This is how big this thing was and how lit it was. There's nothing that looks like that, that massive, that would have any need to be flying over Rockford. And I'm like, is this glare? Is this reflection of something? And I roll the windows down and it's in the sky. And my girlfriend at the time, she's in her phone, and I'm like, hey, like, tell me I'm not the only one that's seeing this. And then she looks out the window and she's terrified. She's like, what the fuck is that? So that's one of the situations I'm like, I have a witness. Like, I can't.
Did you see this?
And like in 2 seconds that we had pulled over, because there's like a little side street over there. We pulled over, we got out of the car, we look up in the sky, gone. Just like that, just gone. Instantaneously gone.
No other reports.
You saw it leave, or you looked away and it was gone?
It phased out.
Like I said, there's no like other reports that day that you could possibly pull up on Google or anything like that.
So there was others, right? Okay. There was others where I was able to do that. Okay. There was and this was a night in Rockford. I was leaving Skateland. Yeah, I was leaving Skateland, and a lot of these stories happen in Rockford. But also, it's right by the nuclear power plant, right? Byron. Yeah. And there's a theory that, like around the world, around nuclear facilities, they're hotspots for UFO activity, because the theory is that they siphon off whatever the output is from these chemical plants, and also volcanoes. And there's studies where it actually corroborates. They fly out of volcanoes all the time. They're above, like when there was that nuclear accident off the island in Japan, heavy UFO activity like for the next week on video, pictures, like rampant.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I saw a lot in Rockford, because it's right by the Byron nuclear power plant.
I was there with the Byron.
Yeah. And there was one night where there were bright red orbs throughout the entire span of the sky. We were driving by like Hamilton Sunstrand, which is on the way out of Skateland. And I was like, is anyone seeing this? Because I would kind of look at the sky a lot naturally, because I was always curious what was up there. And my best friend was in the back seat of the car at the time. His name's Nick Skiro. He saw the shit. And no, was it Nick Skiro or Ryan Kiltz? I don't know. I don't know if either one's going to go. One of the two was in the car. And my mom's in the seat, and she sees the shit. And she also knows my dad's story. So we're monitoring what I can describe as like a coordinated synchronization of these like red orbs going in formation, phasing in, phasing out. They're going in lines. They're going in like these patterns. And then they would just randomly blop in and out, blop in and out. They're way high up in the sky. People are calling into 97Z OK while this is going on. Mm-hmm. And 97Z OK is like trying to be funny. They put the X-Files theme on. Yeah. And people are like terrified calling in.
Best like opening for like alien theme song ever.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It's my mood music.
Oh, dude. Like, it's the best. Yeah. You hear that stuff, you're like, oh, shit.
But I shit you not, like that, what was it, Alpine? Yeah. It's Alpine, and then it's Harrison, near the intersection of Hamilton Sunstrand. There were cars stopped in the street, like in the driving lanes, and people were outside of their cars looking up at the sky. It wasn't me just seeing it.
Yeah.
Everyone was seeing this thing, and no one had an answer for it. And I did follow up on that, and I was looking online to see if like anyone reported this. And then I'm like, did anyone like contact the closest Air Force? Were there any like exercises in the sky? None. So that was like an example of like, this is something the whole city witnessed. Yeah. And no one has answers.
How long ago was this?
I was in at least 4th or 5th grade. So I would even think it'd be worth a shot for me to like try to look back and see if like more has been written about this.
Yeah.
But that was a big one. And then I saw these huge like red white orbs in the direction of the Byron nuclear power plant once. And they just kept getting way bigger, and then they would kind of start up and go way bigger, and they kept going to different locations, then they just disappeared. And I'm like, well, I know that's not an airplane. So it's like shit like that. Yeah. But like in terms of ghosts, that's something that I've always, I don't know if I want to see.
Yeah, same here.
Because like that's depending like what you believe.
Yeah.
If like it could be demonic, poltergeist, is it a spirit that just never passed, right? Yeah. Because even if it's a relative, as something that looks like a relative, it could be demonic posing as your relative, and that's kind of how these possessions and all that shit happen. Like I said, depends what you believe. I know like not everyone's gonna call bullshit here and there until you experience it. It only takes one.
It takes one, yeah.
It only takes one where you're like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? And I have no control.
But it's always worse when you meet somebody who experienced something and they're like, yeah, but it could have been anything. Like, no, believe it.
Yeah, you can't, dude. That's just something you can't fuck with, especially like when it's a little kid that's just getting like random scratches on their back and their chest while they're sleeping. I'm like, I think we got to swallow our pride. You got to call the priest. You got to bless this fucking house.
You better find God again, because
I had
a house. You go in there with the smoke thing, dude.
Sage, everything. Yeah. Dude, anything. Like I will swallow my pride. And like my brother is very science based, but even he has his limits. Like anytime we would go to Mexico, there was like the scare of like how haunted is grandma's house, how haunted is grandpa's house.
Did you guys have the tijeras hanging from the windows too?
What is that?
That's like in case like a witch tries to come in, God is supposed to go into the scissors and cut her neck.
This is the first time I'm hearing
that. God slaying witches? God damn.
My boy strong, dude.
He's up there. He's ready to throw.
At least that's what I remember hearing. It was that, and they also had like a bag of like water, and then like the magic, the witches would like the evil stuff would get stuck to the water, and they wouldn't make it into the room.
What region of Mexico is this?
Guanajuato. Well, but it's also for
No, I only heard it for you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, one of so it's like Central Mexico.
Because I know there's like kind of like folk tales and superstitions that you follow depending like what region.
Every time different.
Like my brother's wife's mom would say like, don't, if you stare a wolf in the eye, like you'll get possessed by the devil or something.
I've heard something like that.
Some shit like that. And my grandma, which my family, my nuclear immediate family, whatever the term is, they were primarily in Estado de Mexico. All the little towns they were from is still within the state of Mexico.
Yeah.
And my grandma told me a story about like one time there was a lady that for some reason I don't understand still, like this is where my logic kicks in and challenges it. She took the lagrimas, the crusties, off her dog, the little eye boogers.
Yeah, you would put them
on hers, and she could like see the devil and shit. And I'm like, why the fuck would she do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, like, you see, like you would see dead people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by putting lagrimas un perro, like.
Because they say like dogs can see ghosts, right?
Oh, dogs and cats, right?
Oh yeah, cats. No, cats have. I wish I could reference the studies, but cats have a good inkling on being able to tell when someone's gonna die. So they have them in like hospice care and hospice centers.
Oh yeah,
they have like resident cats that walk around, and they'll kind of like gravitate towards people they know are gonna die, and they end up dying quicker.
Yeah, and they'll lay like on their chest.
Yeah,
and then
so they like pick up on the scent of death, and it could be science, right? Like that we just don't know what they're really picking up. Pheromones, the body decaying, but it's superstition for now. But there's evidence for it. And with dogs, they're the ones that are more sensitive to seeing, because I forget the actual like ocular term. Like they can see like different wavelengths, I think. And I could be wrong. I'm an idiot.
Heavy and blue, right? Isn't it heavy blue?
As a scientist, I don't know.
You're a bachelor's in
associate.
My bad.
Don't give me that much credit. Right?
I went to a bachelor party once. That's about as high as I get. Twice. So with dogs, like my late dog would bark at shit that wasn't there.
Yeah.
At my when I used to live on Monroe in downtown Chicago, but that building we lived in was the tallest skyscraper at the time in early 1900s Chicago, and it's not that tall. It's like 18 floors.
Yeah.
But at the time, that's like the landmark, the little bragging right it had. And so this building has been there forever. Like old, and then in the early 2000s they decided like, hey, let's take this decrepit like unused building and make condominiums out of it. So when you do that, like if you believe in the lore of like stuff getting trapped, like these frequencies that just don't move on, like there's going to be that going on at this building. So when I say that I haven't seen a ghost but I felt phenomena, there was one in particular that's just like I can't deny it. There's no other explanation for this fucking shit. It was my ex at the time. She
shout out.
No, shout out my ex. But she was home sleeping, which I came to find out she was sleeping. I thought she was awake. I'm coming home from the restaurant, and I hear on the other side of the door. I know the tiles. There's like a little tile patch, and then it's like wood floor, wood tiles for about a 10-foot stretch. And then there's you hook around in the master bedroom, has carpet. I know the sounds of this apartment. And I'm approaching. It's late at night. I worked the PM shift, the dinner shift. So the rest of my floor that I live on is quiet. Like I'm the only one shuffling on the carpet, walking to my place. On the other side of the door, I think she's awake because I hear what sounds like, those like Swedish wooden clogs. It sounds like somebody's doing a dance number on the fucking tiles that are just on the other side of the door. And they're loud. I hear them. Like, just pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? I'm grabbing my keys out of my pocket. And I'm like, why is she so loud? Because it's just like the only thing outside of there is like an entrance to a bathroom and the laundry. The laundry machine, and just pow, 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 loud. And it goes on for like another 6 seconds when I finally get my keys. I'm just like, what is she doing? As soon as I stick the key in, the sound stops. I open the door. It's pitch black. Nothing's there. So right away I'm like, no, I heard some shit, and there's nothing over here making this noise. So I walk down the little strip of wood tiles that gets me to the living room. She's asleep on the couch. There's no one else in there. And I heard that. Like, it's undeniable. So something was there that was dancing, or I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
But it's just the way I look at like ghosts and stuff, because a lot of the times you see them, they're repeating in action.
Yeah.
I think there's something in their life that happened with such emotion, trauma, or force that it somehow embeds into the wavelengths of time.
Yeah, at least like an
that's
imprint.
what's echoed.
Yeah.
And I think I just came into a moment where that moment was echoing. Mm-hmm. And as soon as like a human presence is there, it kind of dissipates and just goes away. So aside from my dog like tweaking out at random shit, I also felt like I walked through a field of energy that like literally like moved my hair and kind of like messed with my vision a little bit. And when I walked past it, my dog was just staring like at what we just passed. And I'm like, oh, so there is something there. Because he turned around like it's business time. What the fuck are you? Yeah. And I'm just like, so I'm not crazy because I felt it. I felt whatever I just walked through. And the craziest one from that building, and this was unfortunately during like all the Mothman shit. Did you guys hear about Mothman?
Yeah, Mothman. Yeah.
What was Mothman?
Mothman is like he patrols the streets of Chicago like Batman.
Okay.
Do you know the history of Mothman?
No, I don't.
So in Point Pleasant, Pennsylvania, I forget what year in the 60s, there was mass sightings of what was described as this large, all-black, winged creature with like essentially like the body, just a big slump like an oval and had wings. But the distinguishing features was the shrieking sound it would make when it flew, and it had bright glowing red eyes.
Okay, I know the red eyes. Okay.
And then wouldn't he show up prior to something bad happening? Yeah.
So a bunch of townspeople, the local police force, the firemen, like people of credible like backgrounds were like, we saw it too. It fucking tailed our car. We hit the car to the speed to go like 80 miles per hour. It kept up with us. We hit it to 90. It kept up with us. Then it shot into the sky. And there was this like old abandoned like silo out there where this thing would kind of venture out to. And where he said it was kind of like a prophecy, like prophetic in its appearances. There was a heavy casualty event where the bridge in Point Pleasant, all these cars were on this bridge, and the bridge collapsed. Oh. So a lot of people died. But they were seeing this Mothman kind of hover around this bridge, and after that, they never saw it again in that town. So other people have kind of like said, hey, we saw this here, and also this tragedy happened. But that's where it like grew this lore of like, oh, it's an omen. It's a creature that's like representing an omen of something's going to happen. And just way too many people saw it for anyone to be like, no, like we're just all crazy as a town. Like they saw something. And like people drew this fucking thing. So unfortunately,
Can you pull up a picture?
Yeah.
So coincidentally, they is that on camera?
What is? Oh, Canvas? Or what do you?
Canva?
Oh no! Does this end up in your podcast? Whatever you.
Oh,
call
I
it?
mean,
No,
but I'll put a picture on.
Oh, there's more for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a newbie. Coincidentally, years later, there was a bunch of Mothman sightings in Chicago.
Yeah. Go that one in the corner on the left.
Midway Airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I heard of the Midway one.
Yeah.
Midway Airport, O'Hare Airport, throughout the city, closer to the lakeside by the Shed Aquarium. People were describing this fucking thing. And police, like, I was listening to the police scanner. People were calling terrified. They fucking saw this thing. I'm walking my dog. The rooftop is on, or the rooftop has a dog run where you take your dog outside, go pee and poop. And there's like little fake turf on there. Across the street from me is another kind of like a smaller skyscraper, maybe like 28 floors. And then the one behind it's like 50 floors. So it's nothing crazy. It's nothing tall. Off the roof because I'm looking at the sky again. It's just natural. I always do it. I'm looking at the sky while my dog's doing his business. There's someone else on the patio, just like on one of the lounge chairs, smoking with their dog, like sitting by them. Off the ledge of the building across the street, this thing takes off gliding. And it looks like this motherfucker. It makes no noise. And the way it flew, do you remember that video game Galaga?
Yeah.
The little and the little alien spaceships kind of move all crazy. Yeah. This thing moved like a Galaga ship, like just very like geometric. And then it cut like a quick 90 degrees, making no noise. But I saw the red eyes. I kind of saw the silhouette that was behind it. And as I'm like, what the fuck? My first thing is to call my brother. And my dog's looking up at this thing too. And I look at the lady that's on the rooftop with me. And I'm like, are you seeing this? Because that's the first thing I say. I always like go to a witness. I'm like, are you also seeing this? Like, just so I know. And it takes off in this very odd pattern. It almost looks like it has a tail behind it. Because there's like a little... like almost like a kite tail. And I know if I say that, people are going to be like, it was a kite then. Yeah. I know what a kite looks like. Two helicopters were chasing this thing. A helicopter flew in quick from the lakeside, and there was a helicopter that came west from the west side. So they knew this thing was there. So I was like, I just saw this motherfucker, and also they know he's here because they're chasing this dude. So that was probably one of the crazier moments of my life. And I drew it out. Like, I called my brother. I made a big stink about it. And MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, they reached out to me about it. And they wanted to talk more about it. And I just kind of, at the time, was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if it's really MUFON calling me because, you know, the whole Men in Black theory. Like, people are just trying to be like, how much do you know? So I just kept quiet for years. Outside of the people I told immediately. But.
Yeah. That's on the Daily Insomnia Podcast.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm not suicidal.
I love life.
Yeah, but see, man, I love reading about stuff like this. I love listening to stories about stuff like this. But like for me, like there's a part of me that I want to believe it all because I want the world to have a little bit of magic. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because if it's just a boring like there's no like there's no like magic to the world. It's kind of dull. But like this like even like when you like the Bigfoots, the Loch Ness monsters, the chupacabra, the
megalodon.
With the megalodon.
Well, that one's real.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
That was based. Because even
they got fossils of that thing. That was real.
Yeah. No.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. More nice. Oh, they're still alive. Okay, there we go. That's
yeah, but yeah, you want a little bit of mystery in this world.
Yeah, like the Loch Ness. Like there's science behind. There can be science behind it too. Like the Loch Ness, it could be a plesiosaur that just survived. It was in a. We find new bodies of water, like new oceans, under like different levels of Earth's crust all the time.
That's true.
Like that's where these things can get stuck and survive, and it's tempered. Like it's not like it's just boiling water. So like there are pockets of water where things can survive. Yeah, and if there's essentially, like if Loch Ness, if a plesiosaur survived and it's swimming in an area where it's habitable, there's also going to be other fish it can eat. Like
for sure.
So well, I mean, there's like a circle of life down there that we're
exactly.
Just not.
It's like that theory. If there was any type of dinosaur that would have survived, it would have been a water one, right? Because you said like the ocean is mass, the depths of how deep they can get. We don't know any of that. Yeah. Right.
They explore space more than they explore the depths of our ocean. Yeah. That creeps me out all the time. Yeah. Like in Africa, like in the village surrounding it, in regards to dinosaurs, like there's the Mokelebembe, which is kind of like this like baby. It looks like a fucking brontosaurus, but it doesn't have the height.
He's like, how do you spell that?
I think it's Kolel. Mokele. Mokele.
Right
Oh
there.
yeah, it popped up right away.
Oh, sorry.
L.
Right there. Yeah.
Mokelembembe. But these villagers, they swear, they're like, yeah.
There it is.
They say it like nonchalantly, they're like, yeah, it hangs out by this basin. We've seen it. We see it when we hunt. It's there.
Yeah.
And so they brought in all these like
any other animals in that region that could possibly resemble?
well, that's what like the scientists that came in to study it tried to say, and they're just like, hey, are you sure it's not like an anaconda? They're just kind of like arching this. It could
just
be a
had
crocodile
a meal or something like that.
And they're like, no, we know what those look like.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't need you to believe us. We're just telling you it's there and we saw it. And that's like their attitude about it, which is usually the attitude of somebody that's not lying.
Yeah.
Because like me, myself, like if I'm not sure about what I saw, I'll straight up say like, I can't prove that it's this. It could have been something else. But these dudes are like, no, it's not that. We know what that animal looks like. And no, it's not that. We know what that animal looks like.
Right.
Those hang out over there. Like this has this behavior and it hangs out over here. And we see it all the time. Like we don't care if you don't believe us. We don't need you to believe us.
Did you see it was on Instagram 3 weeks ago where like they had like footage of like supposedly like a Bigfoot out in the mountains?
Oh,
I did see
that.
that.
Yeah.
The movement was like we see these things, but we never find out the conclusion.
Yeah,
I still don't know what became of that clip.
Yeah.
I have my own opinions when it comes to Bigfoot and Sasquatch, but when I saw the movements of that Sasquatch in that video and that it sat and that person just happened to be recording, I'm like, it kind of points to someone in a costume. Okay. So I'm not like one of those people, I'm like, no, it's paranormal all the time. Like, I'm a skeptic too. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll call bullshit. I'll say that something else. But in that case, I wasn't convinced. I'm more convinced about, like, things that are really hard to debate. Like, these, like, there's etchings in, like, in high mountaintops, like big rocks, like these huge handprints that just like scratch through fucking rock. And you're like, well, that's not a human's handprint.
Talking about giants?
And it's like, it could
Possibly.
could be. But also like they see these fresh, huge footprints. They have sound recordings of these things. But people are always asking them, where's the body? Where's the body?
Well, I mean, there's
body?
also conversation about that dragons were real.
I believe that they were.
They weren't, or they were?
I believe that they were. I just think that people are so obsessed with the word dragon in a cartoonish way that they're not, so they don't believe it. Mm-hmm. But I think like there could be science behind it, right? Yeah. When here's the dead giveaway on like there's something that could be here. All these civilizations throughout history that didn't have contact with each other. Yeah. All describing the same thing, and they look identical. Yeah. Like they had no way to travel towards each other, but they're all detailing this thing throughout history, this creature, like what it does, its appearance, its size, its adornments, like, and they all have their own legend and mystery to it. Yeah. But everyone's like, no, they like, what's the theory that they all saw it on TV? They didn't have TV. They didn't have internet. Like. So it's like they're all coming to this conclusion independently around the world uncontacted. Yeah. So that's the big thing for me where I'm like, there's something there. I don't think we can say that this was all fantasy. Mm-hmm. Or here's something that the only other alternative, if people are like, no, like they didn't really see this, then we have to ask, how were they able to communicate as a whole? Because someone relayed this out, right? Yeah. And then everyone around the world, when there was no automotive, there was no airplane, right? Mm-hmm. They all come to the same conclusion at that point in history. So it's like, it's either going to creep you out that, oh, they actually were able to contact each other around the world easily. Mm-hmm. How? Yeah. So that's creepy in itself. Or there was an animal. It may be extinct now, but it had these features and abilities. And the leading evidence for it is just like there was no contact for these people. Yeah, yeah. Well, like I've also heard that, like, for example, like when it comes to like dragons, that the reason we can't find their fossils, like any bones, like fossils, is because like their bones were like hollow, like birds, and those disintegrate quicker over time than
than something like a dinosaur, like a human bone, where it's a lot of calcium. Like,
it would make sense that they had similar anatomy to a bird because they would have the ability of flight, right? And very agile flight.
Yeah. Right.
Like when you see a pelican fly, like at a dock or something, and how they swerve and they like, that's crazy to me. And that's how people describe dragons. Like they're able to like swirl and they're like snakes in the sky. Yes. So it's like you need a specific bone set to pull that off. But also there's something mythical to it because I've never seen a dragon drawn with like feathers to generate lift. Yeah. So how is it generating lift? Yeah. So that's where the skeptic in me kicks in. That it's like, if they were real, how are these things generating lift? Or are they just magic? Right.
Well, it could be like similar like bats, right? Yeah. Bats don't have feathers.
Yeah, but they got like wingspan.
But, so
they
like,
generate lift with their thin membranes that are within their wings, and they with their strength they generate that, and it's more muscular. But like the way they've always drawn dragons, they draw them with like these little hands, and they just got the snake-like bodies, and they got like feathers around the back. So that's where I get confused. Where I'm just like, how if they were real? How did they generate lift? How did they fly? Because like every culture has a dragon type god. I mean, in Mexico, Quetzalcoatl, serpent god. Like, and even he didn't have crazy feathers. So it's like, how are they flying? I think it would be a trip to like, if time travel was ever a thing, and you could go back to a point in history where like they were like admiring a dragon in the sky, be like, I'm gonna go back here and see if it was really a dragon. That's scary. Myself. That was a trippy thing. That did you guys ever see those Bob Lazar documentaries?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Not so much, but I know what you guys talk about.
Yeah, when Netflix released like a little tell-all documentary on Bob Lazar, the dude that used to work for Area 51, and one of the things he said they were working on was a time travel thing. So I'm like, tell me more about that. What the did they do it? Was it successful? Like, what did they do with it? Like,
wasn't the Philadelphia experience part of that time travel where there was like a crew of like a destroyer went back in time, they came back in a couple seconds, but half the crew was dead or something like that.
That's one of the ones where I wanted it to be true. I just think there's so much evidence to show that it didn't happen. It's really stacked against it from happening. Right, okay. I think it would be fun if it did happen, but it's just we all want to believe
that. You know? It says a little bit of magic in this world, you know.
Yeah. The witnesses that came forward about it, like they ended up kind of being proven to be a little kooky. The location that it happened, it's just like a bunch of stuff that I'm like, okay, so no one saw this, like no one was there. So I think that one was just made up.
Yeah. For me, like the thing that also like I feel like it's not so much time travel in sense, but it is similar to it in a sense where, like, deja vu. Like, how many times have you experienced deja vu where you're like, oh, I've lived this already? Yeah. And there's nothing like let's say we've never done a podcast prior to this moment right here, right? But let's say I would have had like a deja vu moment. Like, how do you explain that? Oh, a memory coexisted with this memory and it, blended together for me to believe that time slipping.
Time slipping. That's the word of the day. Word of the week. No spoilers. Yeah. I saw it, but no spoilers. We're all the same shit. Okay, good. My theory with deja vu, and obviously I don't have any fucking degree to back this up.
No science.
I think, like, and there's where quantum physics, the science does come into play with it, where they say there's like a infinite number of us, infinite number of possibilities, probabilities. Like we're all in a probability storm. Shout out Marvel. Yeah. I think every single choice we could possibly make, there's a version of us out there that's done it. There's a world out there where it's just like this happened, that happened, this happened, this happened. It's just us in different forms. And I think it intersects. Sometimes. I think it intersects. Okay. Yeah. And once you live a moment that the other version of you has already lived, I think there's a convergence. And because they say we're all energy, right? Yeah. It's all a shared energy. Even when we die, we just become energy again. Even if you don't believe in God as like a man with a beard or like it's a force. Like something's driving us, something created us. We don't know what it is. It could just be like a bodiless entity in the cosmos. But we all kind of recycle into this force, right? So I just think that since we share that at the end of the day, fundamentally, that's my theory, that we're just converging with something the other one of us already did. And that's what we're like, because I'll say in the moment, I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I literally have lived this.
Me too.
I've lived this. I've been here. Yeah, I've been here, and you were wearing that, and you said that. I've lived this moment. Yeah. And so I love deja vu because
and everyone's like, this crazy guy.
It's kind of like a tease where
just take my order, dude.
Your Uber driver's like, just keep blowing me. It's kind of weird. You've done this before.
you dirty slut.
I've been here. You were driving there. Damn, this turned into a paranormal podcast.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean, yeah. We have comics on the podcast not to speak about comedy.
Yeah.
I love it. I didn't know if you were trying to talk shop. Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to think of anything other crazy that happened. What do you think about Bigfoot?
Everything's happened to you though. You've experienced more than I've ever have heard other people experience. To be honest.
Yeah, when it comes to aliens, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Because for me...
And now every time I go to Rockford, I'm going to be like...
Yeah, no, at this point, I'm going to just chill by the power plant. I'm just, what's up?
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. Every night, when I come home, it's already dark out, you know what I'm saying? I stare up into the stars. Yeah. So dumb, but, like, it's just something I like doing. It's I enjoy it. Like,
you do that every night when you go home?
Every night, yeah. I get home at night, you know? And I'm like, I just stare up. I'm like, what's the possibility? What's the fucking possibility?
Do you never know? Sometimes even just looking for a moment, you'll either see a shooting star, or you'll be like, "Oh, that thing's getting brighter."
Yeah,
that thing just kind of did a loop, and then it just phases out. Yeah. Have you ever seen the what's it called, Starlink satellites?
Yeah. Actually, I video.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that was during quarantine.
You're like, not again.
I didn't know what it was, dude.
Invasion.
I'm like I'm staying at my father-in-law's house. It's like pitch black, Minnesota, like forest. Like we're right by the lake, not a flex, but it's just dark. It's all nature, and you can see everything in the sky, and there's no clouds in the sky. Beautiful. And I just see this fucking row of huge lights, like in synchronization. Dude, I freaked the fuck out.
So beautifully in sync, though. So beautifully in sync.
Yeah.
They're spaced out so well.
They were like dancing in the sky. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I ran inside. My father-in-law is a former Air Force pilot. So I was like, hey, what is this? Like, you know more than me. Like, what is... And he didn't think it was a big deal. He's like, man, probably satellites, and he was right. Yeah, it was right. So I had to like look it up because where was I? Like I looked up like Minnesota Facebook or Minnesota Twitter. Like, what's the latest? Like, is anyone talking about this? And people were like, Starlink flying over Minnesota and I was like, okay. So, but I still have like people that'll text me every now and then. They're like, dude, look what I just saw. I was like, yeah, that's fucking Elon Musk.
Now you're the ones like, relax, man. It's just Starlink.
You didn't know Starlink? Yeah. That's like my elitism comes through. So let me know when you see Bigfoot, bro.
I'm in so many Facebook groups. Every time it comes by, everyone posts about it. Everyone posts about it. Like, bro, yeah, like it's there. It's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
They got it.
It's cool. Like when I first saw it the first time, I'm like, oh shit, this is it. I'm actually seeing it for the first time. Yeah. And it's cool. I'm like, oh shit. That's like I said, they're beautifully fucking spaced. They don't seem, everything's just like I said, one straight line, perfectly spaced, just moving along.
If you were to see like somewhere like, I don't think this is military, I think this is a UFO, do you think you'd be afraid, or you'd be like, finally?
I've seen like I said, I've seen certain things, but I always talk it down. I feel like it's pretty natural. Like start throwing out science and it's probably this or that, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe for me, not to truly like, oh, dude, that is something. I don't know if that's just like a defense mechanism.
You definitely have a defense mechanism too.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't want to sound crazy when I present it to somebody.
No.
So I gotta
it's not a defense mechanism. It's called like split personality disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fucked, bro.
Yeah. You become Neil Tyson DeGrasse. You're not really explain everything to the fullest.
But yeah, anything I see, I start like out of that's a little bit different from what I usually see. I started like using science. Like, no, it can't be this. It can't be that. The air temperature is this. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the wind is blowing 100 degrees this way. Like, no, it can't be that. You know.
Yeah. But you don't want to be that guy either.
Like, well, for sure.
Yeah.
The skeptic.
I want to make sure I have some facts
no way.
before I present it to my best friend here that did the podcast.
But I'm gonna believe either way, dude. I'm like, so what?
Here's what's kind of cool about the History Channel and the programs they've been kind of producing around the supernatural and paranormal is that they're bringing in like these science skeptics.
Yeah.
Like the Skinwalker Ranch series. I don't know if you guys watched that.
no.
That one was kind of like the lore of that place, and that they put in billions of dollars into studying what has happened on that ranch, the things that appear. And I mean, my assessment of it at the end of the day, and I haven't put $1 into it. Like there's what's his name? Bigelow. Last name's Bigelow. I forget his first name. Like just a rich billionaire. And he was so enamored with the supernatural, paranormal, UFOs. He knew that there was like all these unexplained things going on at this plot of land in the Uinta Basin. He bought it. He bought it because the previous farmers got ran out of the land by some, I always fuck this word up, malevolent.
Yeah.
Malevolent. How do you say it?
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
Yeah, you got it right. You got it right.
Malevolent force.
Yeah.
Like almost like a poltergeist with a very like enhanced intelligence would just fuck with these farmers. Like it would make their cows disappear. And like there was no footprints. They'd be freaking out, thinking someone stole their cows, and like they'd find their cows in like a little like tractor trailer. And it's like, how the fuck did they get in here? They don't even have space to turn around. Like something was fucking with them that had the ability to just like zip.
You can imagine
now
that
your
poor cow
cows
was
are
like,
here.
what the fuck do I have to do with this?
What happened? Dude?
I'm trying to eat grass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he hired scientists, and the studies that they released essentially kind of boil down to there's a world that bleeds into ours for some reason in this plot of land. We don't know if it has to do with the Earth's magnetism.
That's why I'm going to get to it. Like there's certain points on Earth that everything's just beautifully connected for some reason. It has to do with something with the pyramids. It has to do with every type of like monument has some type of energy.
The ley lines and the heavy magnetic field lines that intersect. That's like where Stonehenge is, where the pyramids of Giza are. I'm trying to think of this other one. That's, there's like 5 other ones. If the names come up in my head, I'll definitely share them. But like all these like ancient sites where they would like look for the stars and like say that their gods came from the skies. They're all under these locations in the world that have been graphed by scientists on like, oh no, there's where there's a lot of like natural magnetic activity and these energies converge. So these people also knew it, and they selected these places for their worship, for their studies. So, I mean, they knew shit that we still don't know today. I mean, there's not once that I look at it. And until you like visit Egypt and see it yourself, I haven't visited Egypt. I'm convinced in the pictures. Like when you see how massive that constructional undertaking was, and then you read in like your high school history books that they just did this with like chisels by hand. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
We can't do it today.
Yeah.
We can't do it today with the tech we have.
Like how perfectly lined up every block is. It's like everything's perfect.
Everything's
Dude,
perfect,
I mean, not only that, but like I saw a video like I don't know, like a month ago. I don't know if it's real, but suppose like if you flash the light to hieroglyphics,
they light shining. Yeah,
is that true or is that bullshit?
I haven't heard that one.
Can you look it up?
Pull it up. Yeah, literally, if you put a flashlight on the holographic, and it just shines
they
the whole
glow.
holographic. Yeah.
They glow.
Yeah, pull it up. I'd be interested in
And
seeing
I was
that.
like, no way, because if that's real, then this is some other bull. This is some other shit.
Well, they say that pyramids were some type of energy at one point.
I think that
to create energy.
My assessment of it,
because like there's mercury under. They say there's mercury under the pyramids.
I think they functioned as nuclear plants.
Yeah, like
I think they functioned. Whatever they were creating,
hydro.
I think they
holograph. What do you say? HAL
hieroglyph.
Oh yeah,
HEIRO.
Yeah.
Hieroglyphics.
HA, isn't it?
Hey, public school, huh?
It's HEI. Hieroglyphics.
Oh, okay, see, he's torched.
And this is what happens when you go to school in Rockford, bro. You can't spell for shit.
Haiwan? No, dude.
No.
Dude.
Honda.
That dude was in Marvel, dude.
Go to Honda.
You talk about the Honda?
Bro, just look up Egypt writing. You're struggling.
Oh my god, this is gonna mess.
Go up there.
Yeah, let me. You got it or not?
Your keyboard messes me up.
Dude, how lit are you? You're not even close.
EY? Yeah.
Let's make one.
Egypt.
Okay, we're getting there.
We're gonna get there eventually, guys.
Writing.
Dude, let me.
Yeah, all right, go help my boy out.
Hyro.
Okay.
Oh, I was off too.
okay.
H-I-E-R.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now copy and paste that. Yeah.
Hey, what do you need?
Yeah, anything.
Then go back.
And then light up.
No, don't raise the whole thing.
Yeah, you go.
Letters,
Yeah, right there. That's dude.
First one.
It was a video. I saw a video of it. I don't know if it's.
You might have to go to TikTok. I sent you TikTok.
Hieroglyphs. Unlock ancient Egypt.
Literally, they put a flashlight onto the actual hieroglyph, and it's carved in, so when the light hits it, it glows perfectly.
The hieroglyph that trips me out the most,
I think it's.
There's one. It's a real hieroglyph.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It shows like an airplane and a helicopter
and tank.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why would they take time to inscribe that unless they saw that? And if they saw that, how the fuck did they see that?
Oh yeah, so this is it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you pull it full screen?
All right, so we're watching someone with a flashlight brushing over hieroglyphs.
Start the beginning. In the beginning, it was showing perfectly.
Oh man.
I don't think you showed that.
No. Start at the beginning.
Yeah, refresh it. Right there in the corner. Yep.
So
he's showing. Yeah, he's like just rubbing the flashlight against the wall, destroying beautiful art. By the way. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's a color change that's happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when light hits, it just glows. From any point of that little figure, it's perfectly glowing.
That's trippy. You gotta admit.
So what's going on is when this flashlight is over just raw rock material, it just has its natural like warm light, and then it goes over the actual like chiseled surface of the hieroglyphs, and it becomes like this soft blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightsaber.
I don't know how that happens.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens personally. I don't know what's causing that reflection.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, same thing. Pyramids or some type of power source. Same thing with the obelisks. All the obelisks in ancient Egyptian. You know.
Well, like I remember when they showed the reason I think that they were power plants of some sort. They like dispersed an energy that the local civilization used somehow, and people are like, well, if that was the case, like, how did the civilization use it? I mean, we're talking about like what Tesla was working on, electricity that you could pluck out of the sky, and it just all repeats, right? And because
you talking about Benjamin Franklin, man?
no, like Tesla was trying to do that, and they were trying to buy him out of that. They were trying to like buy his shit just so he wouldn't do it.
He would have put the gas industry,
the oil, and gas.
Exactly.
Wait, what is the guy from Loki? King's variant.
Oh yeah.
So they were Victor Timely.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's inspired by what Tesla was actually doing, where Tesla and Edison were rivals, and Edison was kind of a bitch. He would sabotage him a lot.
Have you heard the rumor that Edison was actually Mexican?
What?
Shit, I mean, his name's Edison. I know a couple of Mexicans named Edison.
He's actually like Mexican. Not like
he was born in Mexico.
Born in Mexico, yeah.
Oh shit.
So legally Mexican.
Legally Mexican. No, but I think his family was Mexican.
His family's also Mexican.
I believe so.
I haven't looked into that.
When did this theory come into play?
2 years ago.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I heard about it like a year ago. But yeah.
Why is it such a secret if it was?
Because he was he would never show any documents of where he was born, like anything like that. Like all of that's like lost. But there's theory to believe that Edison was from like some part of Mexico.
He did have that like old
Zacatecas.
Old Mexican grandpa mean mug. Was Thomas Edison Mexican? Tomás Alva Edison was born in the town of Sombrerete.
Okay.
Holy fuck,
yeah.
That's pretty close.
District of the same names.
Dude.
He's from Zacatecas.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We want our credit back.
Yeah.
We want our...
We actually created the light bulb. Sons of bitches.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the dude
this is like a confirmed fact.
Yeah, he spoke Spanish, but he just never really... He was
whitewashed.
No, well, he was just ashamed of it. Like he wanted to be like looked at as like almost like a European, because Europeans were known to be like the great scientists of the time.
People think I'm like that. Damn. The only people that have ever told me I didn't look Mexican and I didn't belong were other Mexicans.
Right.
And so when they're like other Mexicans now, like especially like on my comedy reels when I post, they're like, why do you say you don't look Mexican? You definitely look Mexican. I'm like, tell that to all the other Mexicans that have told me I don't look Mexican. Like, what do you want me to do?
Like, bro, you're not one of us. Yeah. But I'm trying. But see, look at that. Like in the Wikipedia, it doesn't say that, but because they're trying to hide that from people. Dude.
Truth.
It says Ohio.
Click his picture, man. Click his picture.
So in the Wikipedia, it says he's from Ohio.
Yeah, it says, but there's no actual documents of him being born in Ohio.
I mean, I could see the Mexican there.
Oh, I see it, dude. Yeah, look, the guy throws some tortillas back, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I guess I would want to see the evidence that he was born in Mexico before I claim him as la raza.
Well, yes, no, he was rivals with Tesla. You're right. You're absolutely right.
He would sabotage him. He
I
killed
think Tesla paid people off to try to fuck with. Yeah, like you said. Like,
No, Edison paid off.
Oh, Edison, yeah.
He killed an elephant using his proposed alternating direct current combo. He like did a live demonstration. He's like, this is dangerous. You don't want this in your homes. And he fucking shocked the shit out of a live elephant and killed it. And he's like, Tesla's trying to do this to your kids.
Tesla's just trying to make the world a better place, man. Free energy. Free energy, yeah.
But if you guys going to badmouth my boy Thomas Edison on this podcast.
we fight. Dude. We're squaring up, dude.
So it seems, I don't know. I'm not sold yet.
You're not sold yet?
Yeah,
I'm not sold yet because these articles don't seem.
Yeah. But because they want to keep it a secret, bro. You know,
was Thomas really? So click that one, Mexico Unexplained. I'm also gonna fucking save that for later.
They're saying.
So it's the plaque that kind of is the main.
Yeah.
So there's a plaque outside of this house in Zacatecas that honors like that was the home of. So that seems to be the leading evidence.
All I'm trying to say is that dude can make a mean tortilla, dude.
Mean tortilla with the power light.
Look at that right there.
Tomas.
He looks like a revolutionary from Mexico.
Tomas Tequila.
Oh, he was born in that time.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden Mexicans out there, dude.
There's a lot of what?
Hidden Mexicans.
Hidden Mexicans.
Yeah, like like Wonder Woman, she's Mexican, the original Wonder Woman.
Really?
Linda Carter.
Her mom's Mexican.
I see that.
Yeah, so this is just, he was born here, that's about it.
That's interesting. I never would have known that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know Louis C.K. is Mexican.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. is Mexican, yeah.
Born in Mexico. That was
We claim him, right?
We claimed him like 3 years ago on the podcast.
I served him at the steakhouse when he was in town for the Chicago Theater.
Yeah.
I served Tim Dillon, too, when he was in town for the Chicago Theater. He was with Sam Talent that night. Shout out Sam Talent. I opened for Sam in Key West, Florida, just by chance. That's how I met this dude. I'm just like, I'm on the island for a day. Like, there's one comedy club. And I'm like, yeah, I do shows at Laugh Factory. Can I jump on? They're like, yeah, like Sam Talent's our headliner. Like, do you want a feature? And I was like, Sam Talent's your headliner? And if you guys don't know Sam Talent, check him out. It's hilarious, one of the smartest comedians. Super sweet dude. Very, very smart. He has a book out that's hilarious too. Sam Talent. He wears shorts on stage too, but he wears them better than Fluffy. He wears them.
Oh yeah, Fluffy does wear shorts and.
Oh damn, dude, showing some thigh, dude. My boy showing thigh.
Yeah, he opened for Tim Dillon when he was at the Chicago Theater.
He also on the TRT.
Dude, I was supposed to serve Jennifer Lopez one night.
Yeah.
And
she's like, no Mexican, please.
Fuck. Ironically, they removed me, even though it was in my section. They took me off, and they brought in another Mexican that had worked there a year longer than me. But we had the same skill level, and I'll even say I'm better than him.
Yeah.
But the manager at the time, she was just like a seniority forward manager. Like, so she's like, I'm just going to give it to the person that's worked here longest. I'm like, it's in my section. Like, it's Jennifer Lopez. Like, it'd be a cool story to tell. Like, why are you taking this from me? Yeah, they didn't.
You take this from me.
You're taking this from me, man.
This is a bit. This is
That's
a bit.
all I have. Yeah. Dude, I was supposed to serve Post Malone, and this bitch that was talking shit about him, like all pre-shift. That if pre-shift's like where we meet and we talk about like the flow of service for the night. She was just talking mad shit about him. We got the word that he was coming in, and it ended up going to her.
No way.
And I was over there like pitching for it. I was like, hey, like this would be a great memory for me to do this. Like, I love this man's music. Obviously I'm going to be professional. Like if you ask for a picture of a celebrity, like you get fired. Like, so,
right. Yeah.
So you can't like be a fanboy. So you can like just schmooze and talk, but you got to do your job.
Yeah.
And, he came in with like fucking 20 people. Some of them were his security. Most of them were his like boys. Dude, this dude spent like $25,000 because we got some stupid wine there, like really high price stuff. He left a server like $10K in cash.
No way.
And she was talking shit, dude. She was talking so much shit, and she got awarded by him. And then, dude, this is what really pissed me off was at the end of it all, after she got the $10K in cash, she was running around being like, I actually like his music. Like, all his, like, songs that I just looked up, I actually listened to those. And I'm like, why are you being fake? Like, get the fuck out of my face.
10K in cash, bro.
10K in cash. Because he had just performed. So he has the money from the United Center. Yeah. So he's just walking around. And there's videos of him, like, going to clubs with just, like, his duffel bags of cash. Yeah. And he's like, well, I'll just give you. You're just handing cash to people. Hey, Malone, can I have cash? And he's just like, yeah. And he just fucking stack. Like 10K stack.
Damn, dude. That's crazy.
I'm surprised the manager wasn't like, you guys split that between everybody else.
I think that's what ended up happening. Okay. So what, and I won't say her name. Obviously, I didn't say the previous person's name. Yeah. But he came back in. And another person more deserving took care of him the second time. Next time he was on tour. He also was very generous with her. But she was smart. And she did not disclose how generous he was with her. Because at the end of the day, 20% is 20%. But if somebody's giving you like a crazy amount of money, at that point it's up to you. It's like an honor system. Yeah. It's like, do you want, this other girl ran around the restaurant being like, he just gave me 10K cash. On paper and by the rules, that is a tip that you will end up with about 54, 56% of, because you have to tip that out. Yeah. So you're ending up with 56% of 10,000. Since it was a cash tip, you have a little more to play with. So 10,000 on a $25,000 tab is more than 20%. It's like, I don't know the math. Clocking in at 35, 40%. Wait, because it's not 50. It's not half of.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or is it? Wait. I'm done.
Yeah, 25,000.
So it's like 40%, 35, 40%.
5,000 would be 20%.
Of 25,000?
Yeah. 5,000 would be 20%.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't pass math.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how it would be.
So he gave her a 40% tip.
Yeah.
So she ran around telling everybody, so now she has to tip out that 40% tip. So this other girl, she got hooked up, and she just left it at, I got 20%. So she pockets the rest, right? Which is kind of like, there's some people against it. If you have a manager that makes less money than you, then they'll be like, you're fired for doing that. I mean, but otherwise everybody's like, hey, that's kind of a perk of the job. They rewarded you because they liked you. That's a blessing they gave to you. Yeah. So, like, I read in the news, like, there was that shit that happened at, like, the Waffle Houses and shit like that where a manager's like, no, like, you can't take that $5,000 tip. You got to give it to everybody. And they're like, I'll just quit then. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? I'll work at another Waffle House. Yeah. Like, I'm going to...
One down the street.
I'm going to sit on this $5,000. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't make me come tip. And so it's one of those weird systems. Laws are different in every state, but in Illinois, it's an at-will state. So if they already don't like you and then they find out you do that, you probably get fired.
I'll take my 10,000 out of here, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you didn't ask for them, Timmy?
Yeah, everybody. We had this drug dealer that would come in. I haven't seen him in years. I don't even know if he's alive. You could just tell he like held court. I can't say who the relative is, but there was rumors that he was a relative of a big international somebody in the drug world that's no longer with us.
Is this Mexican drug world or
Drug world in general.
no?
No. I'm not gonna say where because these people got their fucking resources too, right?
So we talk about the Chinese. Anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the Chinese. And so this dude would come in and the employees would line up and shake his hand and he would just hand us $100 bills.
Just say hi?
Just to do it. Like he would just sit there, like hold court, would get whatever he wanted, was kind of lawless, but he would say, line everyone up. Who's all working? Line them up. Kind of like, and people would just line up. And I would line up multiple times because he didn't remember. He's lit.
Yeah,
so I would just line up multiple times. Like one time I got $400 off him and just cause I kept getting in line and he didn't remember me. Like I was taking off like my tie, my jacket this time. And
You were a busboy by the end of it. You were just like,
I just cleaned the kitchen. I had to play the role. But like people would like fuck you money like that. Dude, we had a guy in the other night, like fucking, what is it, Dubai money, like a Dubai billionaire.
Buy the whole restaurant, dude.
Well, I think that was like he was ready to do that because he came in late. The kitchen's closed, so like we take final orders and stuff, and this dude wanted like all these like extra items, like 6 items after like we've already dropped the food, we've already done final order, like we told you, like kitchen was closing, like nothing else can come out. They're already like cleaning everything, cleaning the grills, shutting it down over there. And he's like, I need 2 more of these. I need 1 more of that. And I need 2 more of these. And I'm like, hey man, we're done. I told you we're done. I was trying to avoid the situation. And he's just like, where's your chef? And I was like, do you want to talk to him? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I walk him over to the kitchen. I was like, hey man, this chef, blah, blah, blah. And he just pulls out this wad, like a broccoli band wad of just hundreds, blue Chris hundreds. And he's just like, how much? And he's like confused because no one's done that to him before. He's like, how much? He's like, I want to order a couple more things. Like, how much? And he's just like, I know my guys they're done. And he's just like, okay, I'll tell you how much. And he just fucking $700. $700. He's like, whatever he rings in, please make it. And he just looked at the money and he looked at his cooks and he's like, guys, he's like, turn it on. And he just gave them each 100. He pocketed fucking 400 or 500 himself.
I feel like if you bring out like a wad of money, it has to be more than that.
That's pretty good. I know it's a lot of money.
No,
bro.
Yeah, but you bring out a wad of money, like you drop at least 1,000, right?
Yeah.
1,000 minimum.
1,000 minimum.
When Ramon's working, right? 1,000 minimum, right?
So like in contrast, the cost of the items he wanted me to order were like 170 total. So he's like, I'll give you 700 and fuck you money so you can make me $170 worth of food.
And you're like, yes, sir.
Like,
My pleasure. My pleasure.
like you're not going home. You're cooking.
Like,
Like, just fuck you money is crazy. That's like a level that I don't know if I want to get to.
I've been there once.
And if I do get to that, like I'm not gonna be pulling shit like that because you're letting people know you have fuck you money.
Yeah.
But you want
I would never want people to
fuck your
know.
money doesn't give a fuck though. That's the thing.
Dude,
Well,
I don't
care if
even
you know.
I don't even wear sunglasses indoors, man. Like people that do that, and also the jewelry and all.
This
Like,
guy right here.
like,
I had a couple phases here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the closest thing I've gotten to like fuck you money was like recently was
I got guac at Chipotle.
I got extra guac, man.
Times have changed.
No, we went to
cheese, my cheeseburger.
we went to a haunted house with the fam. It was like my brothers and my mom, my sister. And we get there, and there's a line. Like a line, right? It's raining. So it's like it's an outdoor line. So it's raining. It's a little cold. And we were like, hey, man. They came up to us like, hey, you guys can get a speed pass. Or you guys can, it only takes 15 minutes to get to the line. Or you can just pay this amount and just skip the whole line entirely. And, dude, I'm talking about there was a line, dude. A line. And I looked at my brothers, and I'm like, hey, we're skipping this line, right? And they're like, yeah. And we paid them the money, like another $150 just to skip the line.
Yeah.
And we walked past everybody. I'm like, you peasants. They're looking at you getting all wet. Getting all wet in the rain.
Dude,
this is the power. The power.
The best display of that is when you're at theme parks. When you're at theme parks and you buy the express pass. And also, if you're by yourself. Dude, I went by myself to Universal Studios, bought a fast pass, and there's a single rider line too. I didn't wait for a fucking ride all day. Yeah. I rode the Mummy 6 times in half an hour. Dude, families were so mad.
You saw the same person 5 times.
Wait, so but in like the last ride, you were the busboy too. You're like, hey man,
dude, first time. It's so clutch because that's the main complaint families have. Like, we spent all day there, lines, and we rode 4 things. Yeah. And at Disney, it's tricky. Like, if you go to Disney World, they have this like app you sign into. It's a priority. But at Universal, you buy the Fast Pass, Six Flags Fast Pass. Like, that's a fucking Fast Pass. You're in a prioritized line. Yeah. At Disney, I had to wait in lines because I didn't understand the little app system where it wasn't even guaranteed, and then you had to like click through all these advertisements. So it was more of a commercial.
Oh wow! Yeah. Dude, I got I tried doing an Olive Garden a couple weeks ago with my family, and my sister scolded me. I'm like, I never want to see you do that again because I went up to the little hostess girl. I'm like, hey, $20. See us next. And she's like, oh, I can't.
$20?
Yeah, $20. All right. Hey, something. All I have was $20 in cash. Hey. So I'm not going to wait. Because they told us it's going to be 1 hour wait.
You're like, hey, babe, you ever seen one of these before?
What, in Rockford?
No, not Rockford. This is I forgot where, dude.
I worked at the Olive Garden in Rockford.
They say Schaumburg, okay?
Okay.
And my sister, it's an hour wage. And I'm like, I'm not going to wait an hour. So I'll go up to the hostess, like, here, $20, see us next. She's like, oh, I can't. If I do, I'll lose my job. I'm like, you know what? I totally get it. I understand.
Wait, you stopped? You stopped at 20?
I didn't want to spend this 20 anyways.
You know what? Hey, you see one of these? Benjamin Franklin?
Another $1. What about this? What about now?
I did that in Minnesota once because there was, it was kind of a mess. It was like a whiskey tavern, whiskey barrel, whatever it was called. And me being in the industry, like my wife's family is very kind of lawless in these restaurants. They're very like, oh, there's an open table, let's go get it, whatever. And I'm like, there's a system here.
Oh,
like,
dude. Down open tables.
Dude, I'm like that, dude. I'm like, hey, dude, I want to break the rules.
Yeah.
Like,
if I'm breaking any rules, I'm paying for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, that's the max I'll do. You know,
$20?
Yeah, $20. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a night that we found like a empty table somewhere in
Rosemont,
and they kicked us out. Like, yeah, no, there's a line.
Yeah,
there's a system. I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
But I felt dirty, dude. Sitting there, dude. I was like, I don't want to be here. And then the moment they're like, hey,
they want to serve us. Yeah. Like, yeah, they're not. This is not your table. I'm like, oh my god.
It's like an inverted form of dining and dashing. You're just guilty up front as soon as you sit down. Oh, fuck it.
Dude, but you know where that $20 trick does work? At the Improv Comedy.
Yeah, Improv in Schaumburg.
Yeah, he's done that. How many times have you done it?
I've done it so far once. I told the guy leading us, hey man, I want to sit up front. Here's $20. Put me up front. Here's $20, bro. Boom. No questions asked.
Yeah. In Minnesota, there was that case where like our family, there was a wait, and there's like 2 or 3 tables open in this like center bar area, and my brothers-in-law will like win and grab this table, and then we're like, we got one, like everybody come over here. And I could see the look on this like gay host dudes named he was gay. He was gay. I'm an ally, but dude, you were gay. Like, and I could just see like the sass coming up and just like he couldn't handle it or process it. And I just grabbed like $40 out of my wallet because I knew I wasn't paying for dinner anyways. The family usually picks it up, and I was just like, hey man, I was like, I don't want you to get mad. I was like, this for you.
You didn't see anything.
I was like, this for you. Sorry about that. I was like, just enjoy the rest of your night. And he left it alone. Yeah. Left it alone.
That's right, dude. You gotta pay somebody. That's all they need. That's all they want.
So I don't think the 20 was a bad move.
It wasn't.
Yeah. I just think a little speech helps.
It was the hostess. Like, all right, you know what? She probably doesn't get tipped out. She's probably bored.
Yeah.
She probably
maybe next time, maybe a 40.
40 days.
You should have gave the 20 and been like, "Is your man treating you right? Well, talk to me. Hold her hand."
Hey, they fire you, just hit me up. All right. Reach out to me, okay,
bro.
I don't know where I'm gonna put you, but reach out to me.
Yeah, and then the I mean, as long as you're sly about it, right? Because the only thing she has to do be like, oh yeah, we have your table ready. Like, oh, you had can you make what's it called, reservations?
You can. On a lot of places now, reservations is key.
There, for the most part, if I had to put math on it, I would say 80% of restaurants still do reservations. Yeah. But there is this like new trend of like, we don't take reservations, first come, first serve for like these in-demand restaurants. Yeah. And people will wait like an hour and a half to have a fucking brunch just because they don't take reservations. But also the benefit to that as a business owner of the people that own those businesses, they don't have to deal with cancellations. Like people that, because like when you make a reservation where you don't have to put a card down, they plot for you for the night. So if you have like, we're coming in with like 7 people, we're coming in with like 15 people, and all of a sudden only 4 of you show up. Yeah. Like you fucked over the server that had their section taken up by the party. Yeah. And they only get one turn. Ideally you get like, you're able to flip your section like 2-3 times. That's how you make your money. But when they're like, well, we can't see this like a whole third of your section because we're saving it for this 15 that's coming in. And then 4 of the 15 come in. And then like, those 4 that come in are like, oh, our friends are actually joining us, and it's like 30, 40 minutes later. Like, that sucks. That's why these restaurants have all those policies in place where they're like, we won't seat you until everybody's here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and people get mad because they're used to, like, restaurants in suburbs that don't enforce that.
Or Tyson Brazil?
Tyson Brazil, yeah.
Because we were down to just one person. And I think it was this guy.
I was late.
Yeah, it was this guy, yeah. And we were like, hey, man, look, all of us are here. Yeah. We're just waiting on one dude. And he's, like, down the street. And they're like, no, you have to wait till everybody's here.
Oh, they were like,
and then I took, there's a window.
Yeah. Where we and then I took out a $5 bill, bro. And I'm like, hey, you see one of these babies? You see one of these? You see one of these?
Is your man treating you right?
Lincoln over here, you know.
But let me go back to the story, dude. My sister scolded me like, I don't want you ever doing that again. That embarrassed me. This and that. Like,
you know what you should be embarrassed. You're not paying.
No, I told her. This is how the world works. Money talks. It is what it is. And my dad starts going into me like, hey, it just shows your morals. This and that. I'm like, here's the thing. This is how the world works. $20 gets you somewhere sometimes, all right? Yeah. This time it didn't, all right? It failed us. But the good thing is 5 minutes later we had a table, though.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool.
What if she would have sat you, got fired, and then saw that you had a table 5 minutes after that? She's like, if you would have just waited, I'm student debt.
Now she would have told me, hey, tip me a little bit more.
Wait, did you go in there and not even them telling you there was going to be a wait? You just assumed it was going to be a wait?
No. We went there. And they told us it would be an hour wait. I'm like, fuck. So my sister put her name down. This is that. And like I'm thinking in my head, like I don't want to wait an hour.
How long did you wait?
Wait an hour.
How long did you wait before like?
I waited 5 minutes, so I decided to go and ask her, hey, $20, make it happen. No, okay, cool. I respected it. Thank you. No matter, okay, whatever. I go back, sit down. My sister scolding me once again, and then 5 minutes later, hey, your table's ready. Okay, cool.
What if that was her doing the thing and then she's like, "Where's my $20?"
She didn't let me know.
Yeah. I hosted at Applebee's in McChesney Park, to be more specific.
Oh, you there?
Yeah, that was my first like kind of industry gig. I was a host at Applebee's, and I remember there would be times where, because it's like a little foyer, there's not much space to wait. And there was a couple times where we would call like, Murphy, party is 6. And like, oh, that's us. And they would get set. And then all of a sudden someone's in your ear like, hey, man, how much longer on Murphy, party is 6? And you're like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, your party's over there. They're like, who the fuck are they? We don't know them. Like, they said they were Murphy, party is 6. And And then you see them start fucking, why'd you say you were me? Get the fuck out of my table. Like, so it's...
What do you guys do then?
Let them fucking handle it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting involved. Why'd you take the table? You lied and said you were a family you weren't just to get sacked quicker. Yeah. And that family is right fucking there. Yeah. So that's going to play out how it's supposed to play.
I like when the eater, they give you the little thing that lights up, that shakes. Yeah. I like that. Or like a little text.
Yeah, I put it between my legs.
Yeah. That's why I knew.
Just like, where's this guy? We've been calling him for 10 minutes. I'm like, just in my car.
Almost there.
There was one time I was super fucked up, man. We were hosting. There was this like regular that always came in. It was this old lady. She had her oxygen. And her son, like in his like mid-40s, who just looked like he was 80. Like he was in bad shape. And he always wheeled her in. They would have dinner together like twice a week. They had their own little table that we always put them at because she had her wheelchair. And it's a busy Friday. And again, it's the same little foyer. There's not much space to wait around. And the son, her caretaker, starts having like a violent seizure, like on the ground, convulsing, head rocking and shit. Eyes are in the back of his head. There's like 30 people in this cramped little space watching this happen. It's like the rush has just started. There are servers running drinks, running food runners running food. And like the flow has not stopped. And I'm just there with my little clipboard, like, what the fuck? Fuck do I do? Like, it wasn't the first time I'd seen like a seizure happen, but it's the first time at work where I'm just like, so I called my manager over. I was like, what do we do? And she was like, keep seating tables. Here's the problem. besides her lack of empathy, here's the problem. He had collapsed in the way, like it's a little foyer, that entrance foyer, and there's a walkway to this area of seating, a walkway to that area of seating, and a walkway down into the bar. He was in the walkway that opened to the only 6 tables we had open at the time for that first wave. So we were instructed to have people step over his body to walk them to the table. And I'm like, we could just tell people to wait.
Yeah.
Like they see what's going on. No one cared. They're just like, well, I mean, we are next. And that we fucking stepped over this dude in a seizure. We never saw them again.
First world problems, huh?
Yeah.
First world problems. Like,
well, you're in my way of my steak, my boy.
Yeah, dude. I want my buffalo chicken, damn
it. Dude.
My salad's going to get warm.
The Asian chicken bowl, I remember that one. That fucking slapped. And for serving the quesadilla, I always liked it. The burger was nice.
We're talking about...
the maple blondie.
Applebee's, right?
Yeah, Applebee's.
I've been there like once or twice in my career.
You haven't been there like... Well, shit. I've been there a couple times.
I don't remember any name.
Just the marketing.
Southwest Egg Rolls?
They had that. Yeah, they had that. Wait, that might be Chili's.
Oh, fuck. Chili's. I fuck with Chili's.
I hosted at Chili's, too.
God damn.
Dude, I got bounced around in Rock. I lasted at... My first job was Popeye's Chicken. I lasted a day. And then I got hired on my way home from getting fired at Panera.
What'd you get fired for Popeye's Chicken for, dude?
Oh, because I snitched on the manager.
Oh, you snitched on the manager?
I snitched on the manager to the GM, and I guess they were sleeping together.
Oh,
and so he's like, oh, I can't get away with my bullshit. This guy's a narc. But no, like, I was washing chickens. I was washing dishes in the kitchen, and I didn't know there was a sink for pans and a sink for chickens. I don't know the concept of a chicken sink. I've never worked in a place like that. I've never had a job. So I told this guy, I was like, hey, man, obviously there's a lot of stuff here I don't know. If I'm doing something wrong, just tell me. Coach me. And that's like shit my dad told me to do. He's like, hey, man, like, obviously you're not going to know stuff, so get ahead of it and just tell him you're dumb and to guide you. And so I thought I was done doing dishes that were given to me. And this dude storms back there, and he's, like, yelling at me. Like, a first day, dude. Like, my parents barely yelled at me at that time. And this dude's just, like, leaning into me, like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you don't fucking do that. And I was like, hey, man, just tell me what to do. Like, this is unnecessary. Like, and I was like, my parents don't talk to me like that. Like, what are you doing? And he's just like, only chickens get washed in the sink. You're washing pans in the sink. That's cross-contaminated. I was like, yeah, I understand that. I was like, I didn't know. I will rewash these pans like thoroughly over here. Yeah. Like, I haven't seen a chicken come back all night to get washed in this bitch. Like, I have no frame of reference. I didn't know you wash chickens. Like, who washes meat? Yeah. But I heard black people like wash their like ground beef
sink,
and shit,
and then season them in the sink, and then everything in the sink, and then cook it in.
But they normally cook their stuff well done anyway, so that's gonna cook out any bacteria.
Yeah. But I heard you're not supposed to wash chicken.
My mom does.
Wash chicken?
Yeah.
Does she have a chicken sink?
Just the sink.
Same sink. Same sink.
Sink would do everything in
Same sink. You put glasses upside down.
I'm like, you should wash them in that sink.
Yeah, I was bathing that sink. So I was answering every day.
You're just naturally resistant to salmonella at this point, dog.
And we have it. It's just natural to us.
Yeah, but he, on his way back to the front of the restaurant at the cashiers, he was like punching all the fridges. Like really, dude, like pushing, like I fucked his day up, like really anger issues. And I was just like, that's not normal. So my boss at the end of the day, the GM, she sat me down. She's like, how do you think your first day went? And so I'm like telling her, I'm just like, hey man, like this dude's different. Like, is this something I got to get used to? Is this dude just like this? And she was like, oh, I'll talk to him. Don't worry about it. And I came in the next day for my shift, and like a revolving door, literally. Like I came in and he swooped me out and was like extended his hand to shake my hand. He's like, it's just not going to work, buddy. Like we're just going to go another route. And I got fired for that. Yeah. Oh, my wife's calling. Shall we pause real quick?
Yeah. You know what? There's it right here. Go ahead. We're back. This is me like in the future seeing myself do that. Basically. But Rene,
appreciate it.
Man, this has probably been our longest podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're like an hour and 40.
Lost in this.
Yeah. This house. Like literally we had Alan and Will.
We could have gone. We could have kept going with us.
Yeah, but it's like no comedy.
Yeah.
It's just us talking shit.
These guys a little bit to escape, you know.
I feel like we learned a lot.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
But we appreciate you coming through, man. Honestly, yeah. Like I said, it's been a while since we've been wanting to do this, but we finally got together, you know.
Got a lot of stories you haven't heard.
And that's the beauty of it, like, because it feels like this is only the first of many, right? Because like it was like we didn't go through everything we wanted to talk about, because there's still so many avenues that like we could have talked about getting fired like the next hour.
Dude, I've gotten fired from so many places. So, yeah.
But bro, we appreciate you coming through, man. Making time for us.
For sure.
Tell the people where they can find you. This episode will come out Thanksgiving weekend. So whatever you have that weekend, if you want to promote.
Yeah. So the last Monday of the month of November, I will be at Comedy Bar. So you can catch me there. The Friday right before it, I believe we're doing Latin XL at the Laugh Factory. So if you want to get on the guest list of that, follow our Instagram, Latin XL Comedy. We do that at the Laugh Factory at 11:30 p.m. on Friday, so we're the late show, so anything could happen. But you can. I usually post comedy reels at least once a week, ideally twice a week, on my channels. My Instagram is an old stage name of mine that I just kept, so Gossip Structure, exact spellings, Gossip Structure.
And they'll see the link right here.
Oh, they're gonna do the graphic.
Yeah.
It's a little paradox, but yeah, it's my stage name that from music that I just kind of held on to. And if you're on TikTok, definitely I'm trying to boost my metrics on that. So tell your friends, especially if you're from Waukegan. I gained a lot of fans from Waukegan and Joliet with a recent joke. But that's Rene, Rene Comedy. It's really easy, Rene Comedy on TikTok. So you can find me there, and I post my shows there. So Instagram, TikTok.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Tell people they can find us.
Guys, we're on YouTube. Make yourself a cocktail. Watch this episode. Watch our other episodes, man. Just have a good time with us. We're on every podcast station possible. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Google Podcasts. We're anywhere that podcast is available. And, of course, you guys can follow me on Instagram, GAMMAL'S.
And like always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is Daily Insomnia. Sign off. Hey guys, Ramon from Daily Insomnia. Thank you for watching our video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right here. Watch our mixology videos up here. And if you want to see our latest episode, it's right here. Like always, guys, this is Daily Insomnia. Sign off.